Can you believe the Raiders are already making roster moves before joint practices even begin? The Silver and Black have officially signed wide receiver Marquez Callaway, a name some fans might remember from 2023 when he spent time on the Raiders practice squad. Most recently with the Buccaneers practice squad, Callaway brings size at 6'2" and speed as a deep field threat. Unfortunately, injuries have slowed his career since his early days with the Saints, where he posted 83 catches, 1,069 yards, and 7 touchdowns in 47 games. Still, his addition could help the Raiders prepare for what's expected to be a very physical joint practice week against the San Francisco 49ers. This move also strengthens depth for special teams duties. Before we dive into the latest Raiders updates, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and hit that bell icon so you never miss the breaking news from Raider Nation. To make room for Callaway, the team released wide receiver Kawan Baker. With this change, Callaway slots into the lower end of the Raiders' current wide receiver depth chart, but he'll have a chance to prove himself quickly in practice. The Raiders' roster moves this week aren't just about adding depth. They're about gearing up for a tough test against the 49ers in joint practices. With a matchup like that, the Raiders know they'll need every ounce of talent ready to go. That's why the addition of Marquez Callaway is so intriguing. Callaway might be starting at the bottom of the depth chart, but his early career flashes in New Orleans proved he can stretch the field and create big plays when given the chance. If he stays healthy, he could be a surprise contributor, especially with the physical battles ahead in practice. The release of Kawan Baker signals that the Raiders are refining their wide receiver group, prioritizing players who can step in immediately and make an impact, both on offense and special teams. These aren't blockbuster moves, but they're the kind of decisions that can quietly shape the roster before the season kicks off. The Raiders' latest adjustments aren't just about filling spots. They're strategic moves aimed at improving depth and flexibility ahead of the season. Signing Marquez Callaway adds a proven field stretcher who can create mismatches, especially if the Raiders want to open up their passing attack during physical practices with the 49ers. This move also signals that the Raiders coaching staff is serious about competition at every position. Callaway will have the chance to prove himself quickly, and with special teams value on his side, he could secure a role beyond just training camp. Releasing Kawan Baker might not make headlines, but these smaller changes are often where championship caliber depth is built. Every roster spot counts, and the Raiders appear determined to make sure each one is filled by a player who can contribute immediately. Up next, let's talk about a storyline that's been buzzing in Raider Nation: trade rumors involving Raiders players. Reports have linked a couple of names to potential moves, with quarterback Aiden O'Connell being one of the most talked about. Now, not every rumor comes from a rock-solid source, but some chatter is legitimate. In O'Connell's case, it's not hard to see why he'd draw interest. He's shown flashes of poise, accuracy, and leadership. However, moving a young quarterback would be a major decision, and the Raiders would need a strong return to even consider it. These rumors don't necessarily mean a trade is imminent, but they do highlight how active and watchful the Raiders front office is right now. With the season approaching fast, every decision could shape not just the depth chart, but the team's direction for the year ahead. Let's get into one of the most talked about storylines in Raider Nation right now. Are the Raiders shopping Aiden O'Connell? I'd give this rumor a very low probability, maybe 1 to 5% at best. Most of the buzz comes from online chatter after the Raiders' preseason matchup with the Seahawks, where speculation exploded across social media and sports blogs. Could the Raiders move O'Connell if the right offer came along? Absolutely, but it would have to be worth it. The team has confidence in rookie Cam Miller, who was drafted in the 6th round and impressed during the first preseason game, even outplaying O'Connell in that contest. Still, moving a young quarterback with starting experience is no small decision. For now, the talk feels more like off-season smoke than a serious push to make a deal. Despite the online noise, it's hard to see the Raiders parting ways with Aiden O'Connell anytime soon. He's proven to be a steady QB2, starting 17 games in his first 2 seasons and playing in 20 overall, while working under multiple head coaches, offensive coordinators, and systems. That kind of experience is valuable, especially for a backup. Financially, he's a bargain. With a salary near the veteran minimum, about $1 million, he's far cheaper than what many backup quarterbacks cost around the league. For comparison, the Raiders once paid Marcus Mariota $10 million for the role, and other teams have handed out $15 million deals for backups with similar or less experience. Okonnell's presence also benefits rookie Cam Miller. Keeping Okonnell allows Miller to develop without being thrown into high-pressure situations too soon. If disaster struck and the starter went down, Okonnell's experience would keep the offense steady while Miller continues to grow. For all those reasons, the odds of the Raiders trading Okonnell remain extremely slim. Competition drives improvement, and Aiden Okonnell brings it every single day in practice. That's one of the reasons the Raiders value him, not only as a reliable backup, but also as a mentor and motivator for rookie Cam Miller. Letting Miller develop behind Okonnell makes sense for the long-term stability of the quarterback room. If the Raiders ever decided to listen to trade offers, a few teams could be potential fits. The Tennessee Titans could use depth behind their starter, though they recently added Trevor Siemian. The New England Patriots might also be interested, as offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels knows Okonnell well from his time in Las Vegas. Another possible destination is the Indianapolis Colts, where Okonnell's steady play could compete with or even surpass their current options. Still, the price would have to be right. A late-round pick, perhaps a seventh, might be enough to make the Raiders consider it, but as of now, his value to the team as a dependable QB2 likely outweighs any minimal return. Before we dive into the latest rumor, a quick reminder: before hearing the newest Raiders news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update from Raider Nation. Now, let's get to it. The next potential trade name on the radar is Trey Taylor. While the chances of a deal are still low, under 25%, it's worth exploring why his name has surfaced. To my knowledge, the Raiders are not actively shopping Taylor, but a source close to his camp suggested they wouldn't be surprised if a trade took place. Part of this speculation stems from the team's recent moves, most notably the addition of Terrell Edmunds. With added depth in the secondary, Taylor's role could become more limited, and that naturally fuels trade talk. Still, the organization values his potential, so any move would likely depend on the right offer coming across the table. The Raiders recently signed veteran safety Terrell Edmunds, a move that could have ripple effects for players like Trey Taylor and Chris Smith. With Edmunds bringing both experience and coaching connections, there's now more competition in the secondary, and that could make Taylor's roster spot less secure. Multiple teams have shown interest in Taylor if he were to be released. However, the likelihood of a trade remains low, maybe a seventh-round pick in 2026 or 2027 at best. More realistically, the Raiders could part ways with him. He'd hit the open market, and another team would claim him. While Taylor is a talented player and a former Jim Thorpe Award winner at Air Force, his performance against the Seahawks wasn't strong. As a seventh-round pick of the Antonio Pierce-led regime, there's no heavy investment keeping him in silver and black. The team seems to favor Harper and Smith for depth, especially with Lonnie Johnson Jr. expected back by week 4 or 5. That combination makes it tougher for Taylor to lock in a roster spot. If he does move on, 3 potential landing spots come to mind, starting with the Baltimore Ravens, who recently lost Ardarius Washington to injury. One possible landing spot for Trey Taylor would be the Baltimore Ravens, who lost strong safety Ardarius Washington to injury. Taylor also has a family tie to Baltimore. He's related to Hall of Famer Ed Reed, the greatest safety in Ravens history. The Detroit Lions could also be in the mix, following the devastating injury to Maurice Norris. That incident was a stark reminder of the risks players face every time they step on the field, and our thoughts are with Norris and his family during his recovery. A third team to watch could be the Houston Texans. Taylor's family lives in the Houston area, and before the draft process, there was interest in possibly playing closer to home, though nothing official ever came from it. As for trade value, the likely price tag would be a 7th-round pick. While that may sound low, it's essentially breaking even from where he was drafted, which is good value in the NFL. No matter where Taylor ends up, there's nothing but respect for him as a player and person, and he should have a bright future, whether it's in silver and black or elsewhere. And remember, before we dive into the next wave of Raiders news, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update on Raider Nation. The silver and black always keep us on our toes, and we'll keep you on yours with breaking news, rumors, and analysis all season long.